All right, John, first things first, obviously defending your title on Saturday night. The one thing I know about you is you like to dissect your opponents, and Chael Sonnen, obviously, the difficult guy to dissect because you never know which guy is going to show up. He might be the nice guy and the Ultimate Fighter. He might get in a phone interview and completely rip you. Does that affect you at all?
Oh, no. I've separated Chael. Chael's a gentleman. He's a ruthless, disrespectful fight promoter, and he's an amazing fighter. 2 to 3 different people there. So I focus on the gentleman. I focus on the fighter. When he gets all crazy and those veins come out of his, the veins come out of his neck and all that, I cut him off. I turn him off. I've learned to just completely disregard what he's saying when he's in fight promoter mode.
You like to put pressure on yourself. You also like to motivate yourself. Obviously, coming into this fight as a heavy favorite, does that put pressure on you to make sure that you have to perform and potentially finish this guy off in the first round, as an example?
It puts a little more pressure on me because, you know, I've definitely been the favorite in most of my fights over the last 2 years. But this fight, like, people are so disrespecting him and, like expecting me to beat him up as if he was like a 12-year-old boy, and that's not the case. The guy has won a lot of fights. So it's a little more pressure that people are expecting me to kill him, you know what I mean? I'm going to go out there and compete at my best and do my best and react. You know, when I get out there, it's not going to matter when I'm in the cage. But leading up to the cage, you know, I wish people wouldn't expect so little from him.
I respect the guy for what he's done versus Anderson Silva and what he's done in his career, but I look at it's a 10.5 reach advantage. It's also 5.25 per side. Are you expecting a guy like Chael Sonnen to bury his head down, he's a southpaw, and just try and charge you down to put you on your back, where realistically we haven't seen you compete on your back?
I'm expecting him to do that, yes, and I'm also excited to maybe be in my back, you know, show the people what I got in my back. You know, I've been pulling guard in fights, and so, you know, that goes to show you that I'm not afraid of or have any phobia of being on my back.
We've talked about the perfect fight for you. Let me ask you, would a submission versus a guy like Chael Sonnen be a perfect finish for you?
It'd be great, yeah, it'd be great to make him tap out one more time.
Let me ask you about the personal sacrifices you guys have to make to be professional in mixed martial arts, especially you guys, champions of the world. I talked to Roy about it. I talked to Michael Bisping, it's his son's birthday today. You've got 4 daughters. Talk about the sacrifices it takes to be who you are.
Oh, well, happy birthday to Michael Bisping's kid, first and foremost. That's great, you know, father out there, you know, paving the future for his kid. It's always respectable. But it's a lot of sacrifice, man. You know, my training camps, sometimes I feel like I lose touch with my daughters. You know, I just can't focus on them when I'm training for a fight. You know, like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders sometimes, and you're exhausted. And you just want things to be right when you get home. You want the food to be right. You want your workout clothes to be done and finished, your laundry and stuff, you know. My wife, she's awesome. She's phenomenal with doing that. But, you know, sometimes you realize, like, man, I haven't taken the kids to the park in 3 weeks. You know, I haven't taken my dogs to the dog park in 3 weeks. You know, I haven't really sat down and really asked, how was your day today? You know what I mean? So those are the sacrifices that our wives and family have to go through. But on the flip side, when we don't have a fight schedule, we're around all day, every day, on the couch, like just hanging out, you know, literally, like, we don't have to do the 9-to-5 thing, so it's like we're trying to figure out what we're going to do today. You know, it's just got nothing to do today. We just hang out with each other. So my kids get overload of daddy, and then a few times a year they get my second-hand attention.
Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, Johnny Bones Jones taking on Chael Sonnen, main event UFC 159, Prudential Center in New Jersey.